Joy, pure joy is what you will find in this episode, because this week we are diving deep into what it really means to build a business and a life rooted in joy. Our guest, Shannon Hernandez, founder of the Joyful Business Revolution, joins us for a real and hilarious conversation about burning out, slowing down, and showing up as your whole damn self. From sacred pauses in Bali to accidental keynote cussing, Shannon brings the fire and the freedom. You are not going to want to miss this joyful episode. Hi there. Welcome to the Empowered and Embodied Show. I'm Kim Romain.
And I'm Louise Neal. We're two transformational coaches who are also fellow travelers on the path of growth and self-discovery. And we're inviting you along for the ride.
That's right. We're right here in the trenches with you, navigating the ups and downs of life. And each week we'll be sharing our own experiences, bringing you conversations with amazing guests, and exploring insights and strategies that have helped us find more clarity, confidence, and ease in our lives.
And trust us, we do not have it all figured out. We're learning and growing right alongside you.
So if you're ready to rise above the chaos, doubt, and confusion that sometimes life throws our way,
and step into a more empowered and embodied version of yourself,
then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. I am one of your co-hosts, Kim Romain, joined as always by my other co-host.
That's me, the giggler over here in the corner. I'm Louise. Thanks everyone for joining us. And we're joined by a very special guest today.
Shannon Hernandez.
Shannon, that was so perfect. Shannon Hernandez. We're so glad that Shannon is here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Shannon, and then we're going to dive into a conversation. We're just going to see where we go, because Shannon has come into this conversation on a new level, and we're excited to uncover what that may be. So, Shannon is a messaging and marketing strategist and the founder of the Joyful Business Revolution. She has a passion for helping established business owners who have big missions and big hearts create sustainable, joyful growth. Shannon and her team specialize in organic marketing strategies that help clients grow aligned audiences, strengthen community connections, and use their profits for purpose while prioritizing fulfillment, intention, and here's that word again, joy. Shannon is a strong ally for marginalized communities, actively advocating for diversity and inclusion in every aspect of her work. Beyond consulting and speaking, Shannon spreads joy and actively funds projects that create positive global impact. Shannon, we are so, so glad that you're here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. We've been waiting a long time to have this conversation.
I know. We've had other conversations. Exactly. So Shannon and I actually met in New York almost 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. And that was a joyful, full day that we got to spend together with some other wonderful humans as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. I still remember sitting on the street eating tacos, and we're like, you and I are like, why is it so loud?
Yeah. For sure.
Everyone else was like not affected by it, but we're like, it's so loud right here.
So loud. Well, when you're sensitive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I live here and I thought it was loud. Like,
I know.
I got the sense that that there's a name change, and it should be J Shannon for joy. There was so much joy in that. There was so much joy when I joined backstage a little bit today too. Lots of joy.
Lots of joy. We're all about, I have a mantra, and I dropped it accidentally when I was told not to cuss on a stage on my first keynote 12 years ago. And it just came out, and it said, if it ain't joyful, we aren't doing that shit.
And that's like a baby cuss.
That was a baby cuss for me, like a really baby cuss. But then they stood up and they applauded. And then I was like, wow, I should use this everywhere.
If it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit.
It's so easy to live by. Like, honestly.
What does it look like? What does it look like to live like that?
To live like that, like I got home from Bali Tuesday morning and it's now Friday. And every day I was like, no, I'm not opening my computer today. No, not today. No, not today. I mean, I haven't even gone to my Google email yet where all the docs are that the clients have sent. I'm like, really? That's probably going to be like Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's really practical, but also like very practical things. Like, I went to a networking event last night, which is fine. I have to find the ones that resonate with me, but I went early. Like I looked at the map and I was like, okay, first I thought it started at 6. It didn't start till 6:30. That's okay. So I looked at the map and I looked at the traffic. It's only like 10 miles from here. And when I looked at it, it was between 55 minutes and an hour and a half. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go early and just be okay. Right. It's just going to be okay. Because for me, being centered and showing up in that space rather than, trying to find parking and hustling around. And I walked into the space and the lady's like, you can't be here. And I was like, hello, I'm here for the event tonight. And she's like, you are so early. It's 5:20. I'm like, do you need help setting up? Like, what can I help you do? I'm not leaving. And then she goes, the event starts at 6:30. Can you put out some chairs? I'm like, I will gladly put out some chairs. And she was just so caught off guard that somebody had showed up and she wasn't ready. Because later she came to me and she said, I am so sorry. I was so rude to you.
Aww.
And she's like, but your joy was, you're just like, yeah, I'm not leaving. So what can I do to help?
Yeah. It's so funny how people get so put off. It's like, no, I'm not trying to harsh your buzz by being here early.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I can also just sit quietly if there's nothing you want me to do, but
yeah. And I could go for a walk. Like
Mhm.
the reason I went into the venue early is because I got there at 5:20 and then I was wondering, because I was starting to get hungry, I went in to ask where I could walk to grab a bite to eat.
Okay.
But I didn't even get that out of her. She said, you can't be here. I'm like, no, I'm here. Very much here. And then she goes, you don't need to go buy food. We're bringing in like authentic tacos and empanadas. And I'm like, great. But it was just interesting, right? And the former me would have been triggered as shit, would have been like pissed off. And I was just like, oh, here I am. How can I help?
When did that change happen for you?
I'd say probably like 3 years ago when I had this revelation that I have nothing to lose and nothing to prove.
Nothing to lose and nothing to prove.
No. And that's a good revelation as a business owner. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Because on the days where I'm like today, I'm like, I should really probably do some marketing because I have a workshop coming up. No one's registered because Shannon's been like off the grid for 20 days, in Bali. And then I was like, that feels today like it's from a place of like lack and scarcity and that I need to like follow my strategy. And so it's like, fuck it. I ain't doing that today either. I've got nothing to lose and nothing to prove. If I wait till Monday, it's going to be just fine, I'm sure.
Yeah. We get those stories, right? That there's a push or a grind or we have to do something in order to make something happen. And that's not always true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I don't know this for sure because I've never seen your chart. Are you a Manny Gen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have 3 Manny Gens here who all have 3 different ways of showing up in the world. But that definitely, it's like we do have the propensity to push, to move fast because we can all move fast.
Yeah.
And yet all of us have also gone through that pathway, our journey of finding a way, couple of episodes ago, there's a massive time where I just go, we just need to slow the fuck down. Right. And that's what we've done. And we've found a way to do it for ourselves. So if anybody's ever seen Shannon in a room is not slowed it down. Shannon in a room has energy. And yet it sounds like Shannon in her life has figured out how to say no.
Yeah. I mean, this is an interesting thing because I was thinking about this in Bali. Like I was given two very clear visions after like sound healing sessions. And then just like immediately I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. I could just like do that and have so much fun and like blow that shit up. And then in the next breath, I was like, I don't really want to work that hard anymore. Like, and that's not because I'm scared of working hard. That's because the way that I'm wired, if I'm not careful, I will go all in and I will then be like, fuck all this project shit. Like, I don't want to do any of this stuff anymore. Cause like I burn myself out. Right. So I believe coming out of Bali, my new thing to figure out, because I went all in for about 9 years of this business and built a really good, profitable, foundation and a business that I love. And then like my spouse transitioned to a woman, COVID hit. I've nearly died on a surgery. All this happened in 2020. And I just had to like slow everything down because my body was like not regulated. And so I've been in this, I don't want to say it's a safe place, but it just feels good because it's not a pushing. But the other part of me is like, I'm ready to turn up the fire again. And then it's like the devil on the shoulder. And then the angel's like, yeah, but you've had it so good for a few years. You're just coasting. And then the devil's like, or maybe that's the devil, I don't know. And then the angel's like, you should like kick it in high gear. You've got epic shit to do, like these visions that have been given to you. And so really the last couple of days, I've just been in this energetic state of like, how am I going to go through this next phase? But I don't have an answer yet. So stay tuned.
That's the journey though, is figuring out, it's like, okay, now that I have this awareness that this doesn't work for me, what does work for me so that I can also be creating in a way that feels right? That, because that's that creative output. It's, I want to be creating. And again, it for sure is Manny Jen energy is let's get this shit going. Let all the things that I have to do and create and be here in the world. Louise and I have these conversations all the time about all the things we're here to do. And how do we honor that?
Yeah, let me ask a question. So you're both Manny Jins.
Mm-hmm.
Manny Jins. How do you balance now I'm also a triple fire sign. My birthday is Monday. I got the Aries fire big time, right? Whoa, spring equinox hit in Bali on their most sacred day of the year called Nepi, where everyone goes silent for 24 hours to like get rid of all the black and dark thoughts and then emerge in their new year, which is the first day after the moon. And I was like, holy shit, this is like how I was born to operate in the world. And you know this, Kim, because I've been transitioning my entire business model to run with the seasons, right? So this was my first true season of winter from December 20 to March 20, where I actually said, I'm resting. Now, there were things that happened that I had to do. It wasn't like I could just eat bonbons all day, right? I had an event in Miami, but the energy was like rest and renewal. And when March 21st came, I was like, wow, I am ready. Like now I'm ready. So my question to the two Manny Jins alongside of me is, when you're ready, but you don't want to burn the fuck out, how do you balance that? Because it's real. Like that's a real thing I never want to do ever again. Because I did it multiple times over from like the time I was 7, right? I'm not talking like this was just the business owner, Shannon, but like going all in and going hard and then being like, damn, I got to like rest for 4 years now.
Yeah. Amen to that. Louise, do you want to share what your secrets are?
I don't know that I have any secrets. I have no secrets. I'm an open book. What came up for me, Shannon, when you were saying that is that I also have a fear of that I'm going to burn the idea out.
Yeah.
So it's not just me that's going to burn out. I'm going to just be like heads down and just go with something and not nurture it, not let it be what it needs to be, because I'm so fixated on like, this thing is like so cool. It's so amazing. And it just needs to be birthed into the world and all of this stuff. And what am I missing? Right? How can it change? How does it grow up? How does it go through all of those things that an idea baby needs to go through? And so for me, it's kind of both of those things. How do I protect and preserve my energy? And how do I let the idea baby like be what it needs to be in the world without like crushing it? I don't know that I have it all figured out, to be honest. I'm very much checking myself almost on a weekly basis right now to say, where is the slowness in my schedule? Like, where am I like not right in the idea? Where am I not focused on that thing? I get so excited sometimes about what I want to be doing in the world, and when I talk to people and they're like, yes, please, right? Around menopause education and menopause in the workplace and all of this. And people are just so hungry for it. And I can get swept away. And I'm like, whoa, like I need to step back. I need to find, it's almost like it's not finding space in my calendar because space gets filled up with creative things. It's like finding like almost like slowness, like actually trying to like dial myself back and trying to like not get caught up in the energy of it all, the energy out there that I'm feeling, but also the energy in here that I'm feeling.
Well, I think that's a really good point too, is like this idea of for us sensitive people, like there is so much energy. Like when I was in Bali, I was like, I mean, I check social media once a day, and it wasn't even a check, it was just a post, honestly. Because I wanted to post, not because I felt obligated to post, which felt really good. But I came back like, and I was just like, the world is still fucking on fire. But in Bali, it wasn't on fire. Like I was so cared for by the retreat leaders. I was cared for. Like the food was so nourishing, right? It's all organic food brought right from their farm on the grounds. So to come back and then be like, oh God, even just trying to do a normal thing, like check your email. And it's just like, the world's on fire. You need to buy this. You've got to act now. Now is the time. If you don't do it now, you're going to lose. And I was just like, delete. I gotta delete all this shit from my inbox. In fact, I told Maria yesterday, I think it was, I don't know, someone we use, I'll say Time Warner Cable, but we don't use them, but it was a company like that. And they were like, act now or you will. And I just quit reading. And I said, Maria, ASAP now means as slow as possible. That's my new reframe.
Yeah.
And I need like a little snail that says ASAP on it. And it just like.
Just to remind you.
Yeah. I think I'll paint that today. Actually.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So there's so much here. So, having gone through chronic bouts of burnout multiple times throughout my life, understanding that as a highly sensitive person and understanding what that meant, and that didn't mean that I couldn't function. I can function at very high levels under very stressful situations. And I can also choose not to do that, right? So I was a practicing attorney for a while. I was a nonprofit executive for a while. Those are two very stressful jobs that have everybody yelling at you about everything. I was very good at both of those jobs. And both of those jobs, what burned me out wasn't the work. What burned me out was that my energy was not being taken care of. And so we can go do that stuff. Like I could probably go back into, if I wanted to go back into either of those worlds. I don't want to go back into either of those worlds, but I could, because I understand energy management for myself now. I understand what I need to do in the moment. So I saw you when we were in Florida together, and I was already coming off of a week where I was at a different retreat, and it was beautiful and wonderful. And coming into the second one, I was feeling depleted. And so I knew that every day, not only did I need to do energy management in the morning and the evening, but I had myself resourced in that space so that I could be present and so that I could be open to what was happening in that moment. And that's why I kept grounding into presence. We talked about that a lot when I was there. It was, right, what's the most important thing for me is presence, because presence is what allows my energy to flow instead of being constricted. So understanding myself, like, and what those cycles are, understanding how to resource myself, and then understanding the different parts of myself. So you said, right, Manny, Jen, Aries, like two different things. There are parts of it that can complement each other, but there are parts of both of our designs and our astrology, like all of this stuff, that work against each other. And so also understanding how to resource those different aspects of self, that's what's been super helpful for me over the last couple of years, as I've been understanding more and more about all those different aspects. Because, right, it used to be, I'm a Manny Jen, I'm a 4/6, I'm a right? Like I would know these things about myself. I'm a double Pisces with an Aquarius moon. Like, woo, yay, I can tell you that. But each of those things needs something different. And so I need to know how to work with that.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's my playful area. I would love to know, because, right, you've touched on it a little bit. I would love to know what some of the lessons, you may not know yet, but some of the lessons, some of the golden nuggets that you're bringing back with you in terms of how you show up as a leader, both in your business and in your community.
Well, one of the things we really talked about in Bali is how they view time, and they believe quality of time is much more important than precision of time. So we practice something called rubber time. It's like a rubber band. So it's like if we're in a circle and we're in like deep discussion, the quality of that time is more important than getting on the bus to the thing that we were supposed to do 10 minutes ago, right? So in a sense, it didn't matter. I just looked at my WhatsApp, and when someone told me to be somewhere, I just walked over there. It's like, it didn't matter what time it was. It was irrelevant, right? And I kind of liked that a lot in terms of quality of time. And I teach this anyway in marketing. Quality of marketing is better than like quantity of marketing. So very tangibly, one of the things that I'm going to work on this weekend is I'm redoing my schedule to work 10:30 to 3 Monday through Thursday, which I used to do a lot. And then I was like, I kind of got like, I'm going on a podcast tour, and I'm like, got these things to do. And then all these people I was meeting out on this speaking tour wanted to talk. And then my calendar just started doing this. And I was like, I don't like it. I'm going back to this. Everyone will just have to wait. I have people now that are waiting like 3 months to talk to me for a connection call. And I'm just have to be okay with it, right? Like I have to just trust that that's okay. Because like Louise, I have a million other creative things I want to be doing, right? So that's tangibly very very tangible. The other thing is we stayed at the slogan at this resort was "Stay Human," which I thought was like the most perfect thing because, you know, I'm constantly telling people like, you have to be human. You have to have empathy. You have to like do all this stuff in your copy, like quit churning this shit through AI and thinking that it's good because it's not. So really thinking about what's it mean to stay human as a team, as a brand, an expanding brand, right? That's always like a fine line. As a leader. So that's, I don't have the answers yet, but that's kind of like with me, that stay human part. And then the third thing I'd say, just like a practical thing in my home is, I posted on my Instagram and Facebook yesterday, the Wednesday, how I was able to do somewhat grounding is I built 5 altars in my house. Now I already had 3 altars. Now I have 8 altars. And I was just like going around in the morning and I'm like, I'm going to light a candle here. I'm going to do incense over here. And it was really very nice. It's a very calm, like nourishing way to start the day. And I'd say those are the top ones. The other like 2 things I realized there, one I've realized for a long time is I have I'll call it an addiction for lack of a better word. I have a social media addiction. And it's not necessarily like, because I have the nothing to lose and nothing to prove. So it's not the, I need to be seen and I'm posting all the time. It's more like I'm on Pinterest pinning all the art that I want to do, but I'm never fucking creating the art. And I'm like, this is going to stop. Like, I am done with this behavior. Same with like, now I love to cook. I have recipes I could make 5 a day till the day I die and I'd never make them all. Like, stop fucking looking for recipes and scrolling and just like go make some of them, right? Like, I have all the shit that I need to make them. So that social media addiction, I don't know if it's the right word, but addicted to accumulating the things instead of actually creating the things I want to be creating, which was, it's a nice way to think about like, how are we spending our time on social media? The other thing that I just think I realized last night at this event, I think I have a sugar addiction, which is really weird to me because I'm in shape, I exercise, we keep a vegan house. I don't love sugar, like a cookie, for example. Last night there was a cookie. I ate a cookie. Before I knew it, I had had 2 cookies. Then I had 3 cookies. And on the way home, I was like, fuck, I either had 5 or 6 cookies. Like, that is not normal for me. And I could not sleep last night. This morning, I woke up jittery. And I was like, I don't love sugar, but the minute I take a bite of it, I want more of it, right? Which is actually the purpose of it.
Right.
It's actually a drug, right? So I woke up this morning, but I didn't wake up because I never went to sleep. And I told Maria, like, the little healthy protein ball things that I made, which is dates, coconut, like I can eat one of those and I'm good. It like satisfies the sweet tooth. I'm not going back. I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, I think it took me being like somewhere that was just like super healthy. And I wasn't like, I mean, I was nourished with very healthy food, which is a whole nother topic for a whole different podcast episode of what is happening on this side of the world with our food sources. But I never thought about sugar, but it's because I was having fresh juices every day, which is sugar. It's just a different kind of sugar, right? Desserts that were sugar-free, like really good stuff made with like 4 ingredients. So those are 2 things that I really want to work on personally, is like just not even being tempted by sugar in the first place. And then like creating. I just need to be creating, not pinning.
Not consuming.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's a different kind of consumption. I do the same thing with recipes.
Yeah.
And then I realize I'm like, okay, what do you avoid? Because for me, it's avoidant behavior. So what am I avoiding? do I need to go create something to then move this through? And so, yeah, that's one. I don't always do it for sure, but I do notice it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Social media is so interesting, right? Because it's designed much in the same way as sugar is designed, is to keep us in that constant consumption place. And I find too that it prevents me from creating. And right in so many ways, it's not just taking up my time when I could be creating, but now I'm getting in my head to say like, ooh, what am I creating? Am I creating something as good as that? Oh, look at that. Oh, how did they do
Yes.
that?
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Then
Like,
the voice, right? The voice over and over again. It's like,
mhm.
oh, I should just keep pinning because I could never do that anyway. So I'll just keep
Yep.
collecting.
Yep.
And this all, Kim, you can chime in on this if you want. This whole conversation about consuming and like, I do have a new appreciation for the people who come to me and they are stuck on their content. Right? Because I can only, like, I don't do this with content. I'm solid in the content. Like, I create the $1 million messaging and off I run. But I can only imagine people that's not their skill set. Those are the people who are paying me. All right. And they're probably like scrolling, looking through everyone's content, the little voices going off in their head. They're looking at emails. Oh, I could do that, or I could do that. And I was just like, wow, this has to be overwhelming in people's brains.
Well, that comes from that proving energy. And I can speak to this directly, right? So yes, I am paying Shannon to, because I work with Shannon. And I love and adore Shannon beyond that. And, but for me, it is hard to sometimes create because and I recognize it for myself, I'm in that proving energy. And it's not that I'm proving my wisdom, I'm proving my voice in a way. It's like I'm proving my voice can take up some space. Yeah, it's really, and for me, so I haven't been active on social media since January 20th. Figure out that for yourselves, friends. But I do things behind the scenes. So I got rid of Facebook completely. I have it on my computer. Like I didn't kill my account. I have it on my computer. And if somebody sends me a message, I can check things through Messenger. Instagram, I'm posting stuff about the podcast, but I'm not active on Instagram at all. Mm-hmm. LinkedIn, I'm doing stuff behind the scenes, but I haven't been called to create. And I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. I know it's building within me. And as it's rebuilding within me, a new message is coming forward. A new something is coming forward. And I needed to be okay with not consuming, right? So I'm not sitting here going, oh, I should be doing these things and reading everybody else's stuff and going, oh, that's a good idea. If I happen upon something that is inspirational and I'm like, oh yeah, that gets my sacral to respond to it, fine, I put that in my inspiration area, but I'm not looking for it. Mm-hmm. And it's doing a lot of self-work to say, just because I'm not creating content on the regular out in the world does not mean that I am not running my business.
Yeah.
I'm running it in a very different way. And I'm running, right? I mean, using your framework, right? I'm live and in person. Well, I live somewhere where live and in person is a little hard for me right now still. And so live and in person is video, but I'm doing it person to person. I'm having conversations. I'm having so many conversations. And that is moving my business forward.
Yeah.
In the way that feels good to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think I just want to highlight as a ethical marketing and messaging strategist, we have all been sold a crock of shit.
Oh,
that the more content we put out, the better and bigger and more money our business will make. And it's not true, which is why Joyful Business Revolution exists, to help you get your message on point so you can do less but better marketing and communicating, and then go live your life outside of your business. What a concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is a trust, right? It is a trust because I
huge
was trained, when I hit the business scene, the only people doing coaching were like those fucking bro marketers. And so I had to undo a lot of that in about year 9, like a lot, because that's just how I was trained as a content creator, a copywriter, and a marketer at the end of the day. So I do want to say, if you're listening and you're like, ooh, less but better, yeah, you're our people. It is possible. And but it is going to require you to fight a lot of thoughts that are going to come up that will tell you that you're failing because you're not creating.
Yeah, I definitely had to do a lot of work before I was ready for that, because it was, well, I think I've always known that it's not like, I've never been a post 3 times a day. I never believed in that. I was like, that's not, my social media is my billboard. It is not where my clients come from. I never believed that to be true. And that's also because I know my design, I know myself, and I know that it's the conversations that bring people in. It's the relationships. I was also in fundraising for more than a decade, and we didn't do, yes, you could do crowdsource. Thank you.
Yeah.
I totally lost that word. But you could do all sorts of stuff, but it was the relationships that brought in the big dollars. And so I always treated my business that way. And what made me kind of go needle off the record with it was people saying the world needs to hear your thought leadership. And I'm like, oh, that feels big and important. Okay. Whew. And so that was the scary part for me, was like, what am I leading people in with my thoughts? And I've never been a person who wants to share every thought with the world. Like, that's just not me.
Yeah. And to your point, 1, that's exhausting and not sustainable. And 2, that's not even what thought leadership is, but people made us believe that.
Yes. Right.
Absolutely. On this note of like, what's your content personality, which you've heard Kim say, hers is live in person. Mine is live in person too, but I am not going to sit with people on Zoom. And that's where the flexibility and the variance comes in within even the content personalities, right? But what one of my teammates said to me where I met you, there were 3 of us, 2 became clients out of the 3. Okay. So that's a 66% conversion, right? Then the next summer, I went to an event here in New Jersey, and it was like a 3-day little retreat thing. And we signed like, I don't know, I think there were 12 people there. They weren't all business owners. So maybe like 2 or 3 clients came from there. So then my team says, Shannon, I think you should just go on retreats for yourself and count it as marketing. And I'm like, now that's a good idea. So this retreat had 19 people, signed 2 clients before I left, and several others in conversation with either myself or Amy. And now I'm like really starting to believe it. Like, holy shit, how awesome would it be if I just showed up and went to the things I want to go to anyway and spend time with the people I want to spend time with, traveling the places I want to go. And that was like most of my marketing.
Shannon, that's what I did in Florida.
Yeah.
The first retreat I left, I have 3 clients from that, with 3 that, right. And then another 3 that are, and there were only 11 of us total.
Yeah.
Where I was with you, I have 2 clients from, nice. And I'm in talks with collaborations with 3 other people.
That's what we wanted for my event. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh no, it's wonderful. But it's the same thing. And Louise, I know you've been having the same thing with where you're going to being in different conversations, not about necessarily the work aspect of it, but being in the community has been so beneficial for you recently.
Well, and as I'm listening to the 2 of you talk, it's like, what a release to let go of this, like, I've got to be in this space and my outcome is clients, and that's why I'm here. Like, why don't we just show up as humans and see what happens? And it's a really weird kind of business strategy to actually like write down.
Okay, wait, can we quote that? Please quote. Why don't we just show up as humans and see what happens? This feels like a weird business strategy.
Right?
I think it's a beautiful business strategy.
But that's this whole idea of like, how do we, like, what we're doing is reinventing like how we do business. We're also reinventing how we show up as leaders, right? Over and over and over again. How do we show up in a way that is so fully aligned with who we are that those opportunities, those things, they happen because we're in alignment. And it's amazing to see. I see it over and over and over again. And yet there's still such fear around like, oh, but I can't let go. Ooh, but I have to do that, right? And it's this roller coaster yo-yo thing that we get on. And until we're out there enough proving that being human is actually a marketing strategy, like we fall back into this you called it bro energy. It's totally, right? Total bro energy. Yeah.
And it wasn't all bros, gender wise.
Sure.
But
that's for sure not.
Called, right?
That's the energy, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But I've been needing to like, I was trying to think like, is it cis energy? Like SIS, like bro is brother, but like, what is the energy for the other gender?
Well, and I mean to non-gender it, right? Because I know that that's a whole thing is how do we non-gender this? But sorry, girl boss just popped into my head and I was like,
yes.
Oh,
thank you.
Just anybody who uses that term is not getting me anywhere near them.
No.
But yeah, I mean, you can feel it. It's palpable when you get into a space where that energy is there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's thick, it's hanging on people. And you take a little chisel, start pulling it off of them and saying, but what's underneath that? What's underneath that is a lot of vulnerability and fear.
Absolutely. And people that can hide behind social media and whatever else with a team or whatever, and are very not human-like in person.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right?
So it's like a lizard or something placed amongst the humans.
Well, and I think it circles back to kind of where you started, was this where one of the things that you talked about is that place of lack and scarcity. And they're feeding off of that in the marketplace and all the different marketplaces, they're feeding off of that. And by doing so, it's keeping us in these really unhealthy cycles, that thankfully there are people like us who are willing to move beyond that and show other people that there's a way to move beyond that.
Yeah. Thank goodness we're alive.
Right? I know. And thank goodness we know how to bring joy into the world, because that also goes a long way towards it. So I know we could, and we have like 15 more conversations in us, I'm sure, at least. What are our takeaways from this conversation? Because we just kind of meandered down this beautiful path. What are those little nuggets that we want to make sure that people take away with them?
Keep life sacred. Stay human. If it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit. Less is better. And being human is your best business plan.
Love those.
Yeah, ditto.
Right? Mic drop.
Right? Yeah, 100%. And showing up as yourself, right? Like who you want to be makes a difference. Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah.
The one thing that I just would add in there is the wisdom is already within you. Because everything we talked about is something that we did have within us, and that we just needed to get rid of the gunk, right? Get rid of the proving and the consuming and all of that, because the wisdom's already there. So the wisdom's already within you.
Get rid of the gunk. That's the big lesson.
Yeah, get rid of the gunk. It's icky. It's just icky.
It's green and gooey and gunky. Not good.
Yeah. Ew, slime. Shannon, if people want to continue the conversation with you, where can they find you in the world?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn, because that's where I'm hanging out these days. It's Shannon Hernandez. And also joyfulbusinessrevolution.com. We've got a beautiful page up that says resources, and it's a choose your own adventure. So whatever kind of resource you might be looking for to grow your business, you get to choose the one you want, and we'll send it to your email.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I love it. I had such a great time today. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Kim. What a great conversation, one we're not having enough of, for sure. But yeah, it's been fantastic.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Shannon. And keep finding your joy.
Take care,
Bye,
everyone.
And that's all for this week's episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. We hope today's episode has sparked something within you. Remember, we're all on this journey together. If something did resonate with you today, why not share it with a friend who might need to hear it too? You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review. Your feedback not only helps others find the show, but also helps us understand what's most valuable to you. Until next time, be kind to yourself, stay curious, and remember, we're walking right alongside you. Thanks for being part of our community.